Alright, this is Idle Skilling, more local science man on pet stuff. I made another video. I have once again messed up the audio. I actually made 3 videos, and I had audio running in the background, and somehow OBS transferred that into all 3 of those videos. So we are going to try to commentate over what I did. I have 3 different pets running, or 3 different nests running with pretty much the same upgrades. And I have some basic blue slimes. I mean, they're not the most basic, but they're like the 4th most basic. I let everything run for 3 days. I worked a bunch. And these are fairly basic things. And they ran for 3 days. And they after everything makes a OG, like, blue white eggs, they then have a chance to upgrade to bronzy eggs, the well done eggs, the brown sugar eggs, if you will. So the first actual science experiment was, hey, what happens if you give your nests time? Will they increase the chance at the higher rarity eggs? The answer is yes. I did it on all 3 nests. It was a happy experiment because I had to work and I didn't have the time to actually check on these things. I could have, but I don't want to put the effort in because this is just a quote unquote idle game, and so I left all of these untouched for a couple of days, and it turns out a couple of things. I'm gonna jump the gun on this video a little bit. I'm just showing that these nests are pretty much the same. The middle one is missing one size tick, but they're essentially the same. The size it's like, it shows that we can have 4.8 or 4.6 eggs, but they're all essentially the same. But essentially, what I did was I had 3 groups here for test number 2. I have a group of blue slimes, which are like low tier codex pets. The second highest tier blue genies, or gins, depending on how like D&D centric you want to get, or old Arabian fantasy you want to get, which I love that Arabian fantasy stuff. And then in the middle one, I had before I had to log off for work, I had 1 sheep, and that was the highest tier pet I had. So I mated it with 1 gen, which was my second highest tier. So 2 of the second highest tier in 1 nest. Middle nest is highest tier plus second highest tier, and then I have 2 kind of low tier over here on the far right. They all have lots of higher rarity eggs, and they all have, pretty much the same value, speed, and size, everything else. Here I go to show the codex and what size everything is, and I talk about a little bit that I actually. Oh, yeah, I can claim a pet too. I think I claim. No, I don't claim a sheep. I wonder if I have actually claimed a pet yet. Maybe I'll do that in a little bit. Oh, no, I did! I remember I did. At the conclusion of this experiment, actually. So, that was experiment number 1. And from the previous experiments, we've learned that the hotties versus the naughties, that if you have higher numbered pets consummating their relationship, they produce higher tiered babies. So that's the thing to keep in mind. Also, we learned that blue slimes are just super recessive in their genes. They don't make blue slimes with like gins, with bears. You mix a bear with a slime, you're gonna get a bear. You mix a gin with it, you're gonna get a gin. I think anything with a blue slime, you're gonna get the anything, not the blue slime. So this next test is we're trying to see, hey, how do we get the next, how do we level up the codex? How do we get the next best pet? How do we keep progressing on the pet system? Can we do it with the lower tier pets, or do we have to keep mating the highest tier pets that we have? That's that's the second question we're gonna ask. The first question we asked and answered was, hey, what happens if you have a full nest? Well, the answer is well, there's actually two answers, and I learned the answer. I learned one of the answers in a few minutes. But the first answer is eggs turn to a higher rarity egg. They turn to the golden egg here shortly. But the second answer, which was a surprise to me, which again we'll see here shortly, is that once you get full up on Goldie eggs, the nice brown sugar, your eggs just hatch. Like my hatched eggs, I had no other sheep. Otherwise, I would have had two sheeps in the middle of this menage a sais, key party going. But I have like a sheep down there. I have a few blue slimes. I have a few gins, and they're like they have higher numbers. I would have had my best people up there going at it. And obviously, I've got some higher number people, or higher number pets down at the bottom. I have a couple of poops because I'm gonna do it. My next experiment is obviously poop related. Because why wouldn't you have a poop related experiment in this? But just to keep talking, because I haven't started the hatch process yet. The big takeaway is, I guess to start trashing some of these pets. Which, I don't need a lot of the excess blue slimes. I don't need a lot of the excess gins. I think I'm going to get rid of some gins that are actually in the nest right now. Oh, and I think I made some ducks for some reason. I don't need those. It's always nice to clear some of this out. Because it's nice to be clean. It would be nice, and maybe there is a way, I just don't understand the way, to move these pets. Like, I would like the ability to put my top tier, a pimp has his best producers on the top row. So in my number one slots, I'd like to have my top showcases in the number ones, and then other people in number twos, maybe the ones I don't touch, maybe the ones that I'm doing the lit RPG stuff in the back row, which blue slimes do some work. And the little green that green mutagen case, because they give up AP. I guess I might be talking about that now. No, I'm not. I'm just looking at the different fight mechanics. Man, I really went at it for a while. I was talking for a bit. I was the preamble before we started hatching. I might just move forward a little bit, because I want to see. When we get to, I think I'm getting rid of some gins right now, because I had too many gins. Because I also learned, and I'm gonna show this a little later. Actually, I'm gonna hold the next thing I learned. Local science man, he is learning a lot about pets. So even though I know nothing about farming, like truly, my farming knowledge is next to nil. My crusade knowledge, pretty low. My pet knowledge, it's getting up there. I'm no longer a flat earther when it comes to my animal husbandry. Alright, I think we're just about ready. Okay, moving forward. And, okay, here we go. We go on the clicks. We're going to hatch these blue slimes. The first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. They are all blue slimes. So two things are confirmed here. The first thing is that a nest of kind of low codex pets is going to make essentially them. I think if they were higher in the codex, like if they had a chance of making the next best pet, they might make the next best pet. But since they were pretty low in the pecking order, you're just going to keep making the same thing. The second thing to note, I did make, it's like some of them were higher numbered, like they had a skill, but you only made blue slimes. Like we got a 12 green plus there, but it's still just a blue slime. So if you want to keep growing low tier stuff, you can. But moving on to the Jinn next, which is the second tier. Again, the top tier is the sheep right now. The Jinn on the second tier, and these are all higher rarity eggs. They aren't just the blue eggs. We're gonna hatch these puppies fast. We have 4 of those, and we're gonna see what happens. What happens is I hate that I don't know how fast I actually clicked this. So 2 of the second highest rarity. Before I set this up again before I went to work. Oh yeah, I have to see what actually pops up. What happens is the first one is a Jinn. I think I keep it. Nope, I trash it. Okay, I'm gonna trash a couple of them. It's 2 Jinns so far. Apparently, I keep that one even though it's the same as the last one. I would hopefully trash this one because it's a 9. Yep. Okay, good. And then this one's a 10. I would hope that I keep that one because I have 2 8s up top. And I'm going to actually trash these 2 8s. I have 3 8s here. It's too bad I got rid of that one. Oh, yeah, I want to get rid of that 8 too at some point. So, the second highest. So this test confirmed that because it wasn't on the bleeding edge of my codex, I just made more of the same. More confirmation that unless you're on the bleeding edge, you're gonna make more of the same if you are breeding the same pet. All right. So the first thing I did with breeding the bleeding edge +1 plus something else. I'm getting 2 Jinns, which is kind of bumming me out. 3 Jinns. Getting a little nervous here. And then the fourth one is a new pet. This has happened every time, I feel. I feel like every time I don't know if this is a game mechanic, but every time I try to I have like 4 eggs, and I have the newest my newest pet, and then something else. The last thing I pop, it'll be the next newest pet. So now I'm going to use the codex, pop another one of these seagulls or pigeons or whatever it is. I feel like that's a seagull. Heck yeah, it is. Okay, good. So now we're gonna have different experiments. 2 seagulls. I think I'm gonna do 2 poops also. Oh yeah, and see the breed time, 2 hours 18 minutes. I learned that different pets have different breed times. I just thought it was because if you bred 2 different species, that the breed time was longer. I have since learned that different pets have different breed times. 2 bears, they will breed like in 30 minutes. 2 poops, again, like you smash those things together, you're going to get a poop pretty fast. A 3rd poop. So every pet has a different breed time. And you have to take that into consideration. If you are trying to grind out little broken eggs, which I think is a currency for the realm, and maybe another currency for later in the game, but I think it's just for the afterlife. But again, that's just as far as I've gotten, which is 1, not rebirth, but the ascension. So, I'm not doing blue slimes. Once again, I'm doing a couple of experiments. Oh, here I'm showing off the breed times. I'm showing that I was showing the like 24 minutes with 2 poops. It was 49 minutes with a bear and a blue slime. It's like an hour and something with 2 blue slimes. So if you want to grind out different things, you can min max that kind of stuff. An hour 8 minutes with two of the third highest tier now. Wow, they used to be second highest tier. Hi Phoebe. So yeah, so our newest experiment, in the next local science man does idle skilling pet science, is gonna be, is it better? I'm gonna see if the meme pet of the poop actually, if it matters. I'm gonna give them a little bit of time and level up their, and let them breed a little bit. I'm going to also see if it makes a difference if 2 seagulls mate versus a seagull and something else, and see which one has a higher chance of producing the next highest thing. If it's kind of the same, like if it's the same, if it's the same kind of rate, like a 1 in 4 chance or a 1 in 8 chance, I'm not going to give it too much more time than that. Then it'd be better off. I'd be better off just having 2 nests, each one having a seagull and something else, as opposed to trying to get four of the best pet into nests. Because it would be good to have. It'd be better to have one of my best pets out fighting the good fight against those skateboard wielding things like goblins and test dummies and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope this has been fun and informative. I would love to have more pet questions, but I keep coming up with more pet questions of my own for local science. I may have a few crusade. Well, I feel like the crusade is not really a place for science. I feel like maybe farming, maybe pets, maybe no, I don't know about the realm for science. I like genetics for science. Oh, look at that! Literally, I say that I see the word genetics now. I wasn't even looking at the screen when I was talking about that. But okay, I'm gonna move this forward a little bit. So you can see the different genetics. I haven't even looked at the actual genetics on. I'm gonna pause this actually, because I can do that since I have a video of what I'm talking about. The genetics of the seagull, the eyeball, the little fisty, and the heart. I don't know if you can breed for different genetics, like different pets. I feel like you can't. I feel like at the point that I'm at in the pet game, where I'm so early on, I either get the same pet with with like Lobby stuff, or I get the next pet. It's not like I'm gonna get the 4th pet down, or some pet that's like 3 rows down, 2 rows over, because I have a fist and a jumpy boy like the frog in the bottom, or an eyeball, a plus sign, and a trophy, because I somehow melded a Jinn and a frog. It'd be, I don't know. I was gonna say, I don't know if it'd be better if it went to that kind of random chance, where if the genetics mattered, it'd be interesting. But I think how it's going, it's very linear, and until it changes, I'm gonna keep assuming that it's a linear progression on the pet. Like everything in the game seems very linear. You go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, not a scatter. Aside from alchemy, which is just a mess for me. So I'm leaving that alone. Well, I'm not leaving it alone, but that is just a mess. This is very linear, easy to understand. You mate the best things, get the next best thing. I recommend giving a little bit if you want to. If you're having trouble getting the next best pet, give it time until you get leave your nest to mate until you get a couple of nice brown chocolate eggs, and then crack those puppies, and you probably have a higher chance of getting your next egg. All right, that is Local Science Man finishing off. I hope you enjoyed this.